Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. So, if you're tuning in, chances are pretty high that you, or maybe someone you care about, just got some lab results back, saw a high creatinine number, and, well, felt that immediate wave of panic, right? You're probably thinking, how on earth do I lower this? What's the fastest way to fix it? Trust me, it's literally the number one question doctors get from patients in this exact spot. But today, we're going to completely demystify that number. We're going to strip away all that anxiety, look at the actual medical issue at hand, and dig into the hard science based on insights from Dr. Carl. Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, what exactly is creatinine? Second, the reality check. No miracles or magic pills. Third, we'll monitor diseases and vices. Fourth, we're looking at movement, food, and water. Fifth, a warning to beware of medications and supplements. And finally, number 6, get checked early. Stick with me here because by the end of this, you're going to know how to fix the actual problem rather than wasting your time and money chasing fake cures. Okay, section 1. What is creatinine? Let's get into the science of the body's filter. You know, to actually understand the solution, you've got to understand the source first. The main source of creatinine in our bodies is our very own skeletal muscles. As long as you're alive, literally since you were in your mother's womb, your body is just pumping out creatinine every single second. It's a totally continuous, inescapable process. And because it comes from muscle, this completely explains why really muscular folks like bodybuilders or serious athletes just naturally have higher levels of it in their blood. But it also comes from what we eat. Dietary proteins, specifically meats, contain creatine, which actually converts into creatinine when you cook it. So if you're throwing down a heavy diet of cooked meats, like a massive steak dinner or a huge plate of samgyeopsal, you are actively driving up the creatinine levels in your body. So what kind of baseline numbers should we actually be aiming for here? Well, for men, normal is between 62 and 115 micromoles per liter. And for women, it's about 53 to 97. But here's the million-dollar question, right? If our bodies are constantly making this stuff every second, why on earth isn't it just piling up in our blood? Well, think of your kidneys as this incredibly advanced water filtration system. These filters are constantly sifting through your blood, yanking out the creatinine, and tossing it out of your body through your urine. Because of that, doctors actually use this specific chemical as a sort of measuring stick. If your blood tests show high creatinine, it doesn't just mean you ate way too much meat. It strongly suggests your kidney filter itself is failing to clean properly. Basically, the filter is clogged or damaged. Moving on to section 2, no miracles or magic pills. Yep, we are delivering the twist. Let's be totally honest for a second. Are you kind of desperately waiting for a wonder supplement? Like, are you searching for some quick fix that you can just drink and watch your creatinine numbers magically vanish like a soap bubble? Look, it is completely human nature to want the easy way out when you're staring down a scary medical result. But here is the crucial twist, and I need you to hear this. There is no magic pill. There's no miracle food. Once creatinine is in your blood, absolutely nothing you eat or drink is going to directly lower it. You just can't bypass the system. The only physiological way to get it out of your blood is for your kidneys to filter it into your urine. Period. Therefore, the only real answer to how do I lower my creatinine is to heal and protect the kidney filter itself. You've got to maintain healthy kidneys so they can actually do their job. And to pull that off, you need to follow golden rules. All right, section 3, monitor diseases and vices. This covers underlying conditions, which are rules 1 through 3. Rule number 1, stop smoking. Now, you might be scratching your head thinking, wait, what do my lungs have to do with my kidney filters? Actually, everything. Smoking sets off this massive domino effect of destruction right inside your blood vessels. It puts severe stress on your cells, it promotes harmful blood clotting, and it basically acts like sandpaper on the super delicate, tiny tubes inside your kidneys. If you just leave that unchecked, it directly leads to kidney disease. To put that into perspective, there was this massive study out of Japan looking at over 120,000 people. They found that smoking is linked to a 16% increased chance of developing kidney disease compared to non-smokers. Crazy, right? Plus, it raises your blood pressure, which leads us perfectly into our next rule. So rules 2 and 3 are totally intertwined. You have to check and strictly control your blood pressure and your blood sugar. These target metrics are absolutely critical. Why? Because hypertension and diabetes are the top 2 leading causes of chronic kidney disease worldwide. High blood sugar causes severe inflammation and oxidative stress, again, acting exactly like sandpaper on those fragile kidney filters. Meanwhile, high blood pressure is essentially blasting those delicate filters with way too much force. Based on data from the SPRINT trial, aggressively maintaining a target systolic blood pressure of under 120 is crucial. Hitting these targets doesn't just save your kidneys, it massively drops your risk of serious cardiovascular issues like heart attacks and strokes. Let's transition to Section 4, movement, food, and water. These are your daily habits, covering rules 4 through 6. Rule 4 is simple: exercise regularly. Carrying excess body weight often leads to obesity, which, as we just talked about, ties right back into diabetes and chronic kidney disease. To help strip away that excess fat, the World Health Organization actually recommends 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity every single day. Staying fit and active doesn't just stop your kidney filters from failing, it's a huge boost for your overall cardiovascular health too. Now, rule number 5 is all about the specific math behind a truly kidney-friendly diet. Look, there's no single superior diet out there, but yours should definitely be rich in fruits, veggies, whole grains, and low-fat dairy, balanced with just the right amount of protein. The daily recommendation for healthy kidneys is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. You really want to avoid excess protein, which is anything over 1.3 grams per kilogram a day, especially if you already have advanced chronic kidney disease. That excess just leads to a nasty buildup of urea and other toxins in your blood. And hey, here is a really vital, super counterintuitive detail. If your creatinine is already high, you actually need to limit your fruit intake. Sounds weird, right? But damaged kidneys really struggle to filter out potassium, and a sudden potassium spike from eating too much fruit can actually be incredibly dangerous. Okay, rule 6. Drink the right amount of water. You know that old, super rigid rule of 8 to 10 glasses a day? Yeah, forget it. It is completely outdated. Every single human body is totally different. Your hydration needs depend heavily on your age, your gender, your body size, how active you are, and even the climate you happen to live in. The real rule is actually way simpler. Just listen to your body. Drink water when you're thirsty or when you're sweating to make sure you don't get dehydrated. Please don't force gallons of water down your throat thinking it's going to somehow flush out the creatinine faster. It doesn't work that way. Just stay properly, naturally hydrated. Moving into Section 5, beware of medications and supplements. Let's talk about toxic pitfalls for Rule 7. Rule 7 is a big one. Do not abuse pain relievers, and definitely beware of herbal supplements. So many people treat over-the-counter painkillers like ibuprofen, mefenamic acid, naproxen, or diclofenac like absolute candy, popping them every single time they get a tiny headache or a little backache. While they're totally fine for short bursts, taking them almost daily for a long stretch is literally going to destroy your kidneys. And then on the flip side, we have the absolute wild west of social media. We've all seen those endless ads for organic, all-natural cures that claim to fix everything from diabetes to lupus to kidney disease. Not only is there zero solid evidence backing up those claims, but a lot of these herbal ingredients are actually highly toxic to your liver and kidneys. Even worse, some of them secretly contain hidden, unregulated steroids and painkillers. Trust me, you do not need these overpriced, sketchy supplements. It's way cheaper and infinitely safer to just eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Finally, Section 6, get checked early. This is all about proactive care, bringing us to Rule 8. Rule number 8 is to get checked by a doctor regularly. Now, if you are perfectly healthy, no underlying conditions at all, a routine checkup once a year is totally fine. Your basic panels should just include your creatinine, a urinalysis, fasting blood sugar, and a lipid profile. However, if you fall into any of the high-risk groups we're looking at here, like if you have diabetes or hypertension, if you're carrying excess weight, if you are 60 or older, or honestly, if you just have a family history of kidney disease or diabetes, you cannot afford to wait for just an annual checkup. You need to be actively and frequently monitoring these numbers directly with your physician. I want to wrap up this explainer with a bit of a chilling, but absolutely necessary medical fact. Kidney disease has absolutely zero symptoms in its early stages. None. You are not going to feel your filters failing. If you actually wait until you start feeling sick, experiencing things like swelling or severe fatigue, it means the damage to your kidneys is already severe. So I'm going to leave you with this one vital question. When was your last checkup? Seriously, don't wait for the symptoms to show up. Take control of those 8 golden rules today, protect your filters, and keep that creatinine exactly where it belongs. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and hey, stay healthy out there.